Hey gamers, Blindy here. It's April 2025, and I just recently posted my 20th game review, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to identify some of the games I really loved playing on my Steam Deck. As you may or may not know, all of my reviews up until this point have been on the Steam Deck, and I have loved being able to play many of the games I've had waiting in my backlog on it. I've had a fantastic time playing through so many games, and when it comes down to it, I probably wouldn't have given nearly as much time playing if it wasn't for my handheld system. If I was restricted to just playing Steam games on my computer, I just wouldn't have played nearly as much. The ability to sit in my living room and play a game while everyone is watching TV or watching YouTube or whatever else, it's awesome to be able to have that flexibility to sit on a couch and not have to worry about firing up my desktop, which sounds like it's preparing for takeoff, by the way. And not only has it been able to play games portably, but it's also powerful enough to play most of the games that are out nowadays. A bit ironically, it struggles the most trying to play really old games. I'm dying to play Sid Meier's Pirates, but I'm going to have to put in some extra work to figure out how to make it run. But while it's a stellar gaming system, it's not a perfect solution. There are many games that don't play so nicely. Games with anti-cheat software, or separate launchers, or, like I said earlier, older games, they can all be difficult, if not impossible to play. Hell, Valve's own games like Half-Life are only considered playable. So because of that, it's nice to know what you're getting into, and lists like this one may help you choose some games that are great experiences on the Steam Deck. So before I continue, I have a couple caveats I want to make sure I clear up. First, all lists are subjective, including this one. These are merely my recommendations, and probably more significantly, these are my recommendations at this point in time. My opinion may change next year, it may change next week. I will play more games, and my thoughts may vary over time. And second, there are hundreds of thousands of games on Steam. I own a couple hundred, and of those, I played less than half of that on my Steam Deck. It's still a lot of games, but there will be some big titles that I haven't played yet. If you have any recommendations for games that are great options to play on the Steam Deck, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Just don't hold it against me if a game you expected to be in this list didn't show up. Okay, are we all on the same page now? Fantastic. I took some consideration for the time I've spent playing games I've reviewed on this channel, my enjoyment of the game, as well as any difficulties I encountered, such as getting the game to run, or crashes, or anything else that could sour the enjoyment. And I came up with 5 games that I think make for great gaming on the go. But before that, I came up with 5 more games. Honorable mentions, if you will. These 5 are games that I've played, but never reviewed for this channel, for various reasons. So let me introduce you to the first of our honorable mention games, in no particular order. We'll kick things off with Madden. You can choose whichever Madden you want. I personally have Madden 23, and I chose Madden because that's the game I've put the most hours in, but you could choose most sports games here. NBA, NHL, golf, wrestling, it doesn't matter. It wasn't the specific game that I wanted to highlight here, it was the gameplay. I wanted to represent a sports game, and Madden is always riding high on the game sales wave. But since my first Madden game in 1993, John Madden Football 93 for the Super Nintendo for those of you curious, this game was made for console gaming and controller configurations. Sure, things have gotten significantly more complicated since those early days where the stiff arm button was all that you needed, but you can still manage to do everything you need with just what the controller provides. Plus, the Steam Deck has 4 buttons on the back face of the console to give you extra options if you need to bind some other things. Another thing I wanted to highlight with a sports game was the ability to play multiplayer. I typically play solo nowadays, so multiplayer doesn't do much for me, but sports games are made for playing with others, and to have that flexibility in your hands is pretty awesome. One big reason this game, or a similar one, didn't make it into my top 5 was because of its use of the EA launcher. When it comes down to it, I have very few issues with Steam and the EA launcher, but it's not always perfect. It was a bit of a pain the first time I tried to play a game with that launcher, and not everyone will have the same experience as me. Separate launchers are just another point in the experience that could fail or cause problems. Just because it worked fine today doesn't mean that it won't fail later. If they worked flawlessly each and every time, then I would have no problem recommending their games, but the insistence of these companies to force another login on us is somewhat frustrating. Even more so when the games are great to play. We'll put up with it, but we may not be happy about it. Next honorable mention goes to Unpacking. This has the completely opposite vibe to it than Madden, and it probably fits better on the Steam Deck than Madden does, to be honest. Cozy games are at home here, and this one is great. The button scheme is super easy, and you can take your time playing through these levels. You aren't in a hurry at all, and if you want to be meticulous and try to find the right home for each and everything that gets unpacked, you can take your time and allow the real world to wait for a bit. One great thing about this game, on top of the gameplay itself, is the battery life. It's not graphically intensive, and it's lightweight in size. I haven't tested it out, but I would suspect you could easily get over 2 hours of battery life playing this game. And that's assuming you didn't do anything to optimize your Steam Deck, just like me. Now, for some people, pulling things out of boxes and finding homes for them isn't very engaging gameplay, so a game like this won't be suitable for them. But there are many of us that like simple games like this, especially when they're done well. And this one hits the mark really well. It's not complicated, it's not hectic, it's just nice. I think that this style of game, something cozy with no time restraints, is generally a great fit on this system. If you want a similar game, A Little to the Left has a similar vibe, but plays more like a puzzle game. Next in our honorable mention list is Stardew Valley. Depending on how you play, it could be considered cozy as well, but I'm going to label it as a casual farming RPG. If you're unfamiliar with Stardew Valley, what the hell's wrong with you? Sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud. Stardew Valley walks in the footsteps of Harvest Moon, but by most accounts, mine included, it's a much more enjoyable version of those games. You tend crops, meet other villagers, try to find someone to love, go fishing, and so on. There's not a significant pressure for you to play quickly or accomplish anything really. In a sense, it's almost like Minecraft, specifically in that you can play it in whatever way you feel like playing it. Go slow and try to do everything. Go fast and try to make as much money as you can. Mine to the deepest depths and fight enemies. You have the flexibility to do what you want, how you want, and that open-ended gameplay is fantastic. It's balanced incredibly well, and has become a fan favorite because of the attention Concerned Ape has given this game. And in a way, it could be like Animal Crossing, or maybe I have a skewed perception of that game. My wife played that game constantly on our Switch, and I could see some people playing Stardew Valley in a similar way. It would be easy to put hours into that game daily, take it on the road with you, and always have it ready to check your crops and visit with the villagers. And if you're like me, you may already be familiar with that experience. Fourth on my list of honorable mentions is Celeste. Keeping up with the theme of pixel graphics and small games, Celeste, for those of you unfamiliar, is a precision platformer. It keeps track of how many times you've died, so that gives you an idea of what to expect in this game. But it handles the deaths very well. It's not like Dark Souls, where you have to run for a few minutes fighting off a bunch of enemies to get to the place you died so that you can die again. In Celeste, when you die, you immediately respawn on the same screen. You're back to jumping around in just a couple seconds, and you're right back where you were almost immediately. Celeste is great because it's hard, but not frustratingly so. You may die a few times in an area, but it won't be long before you're able to move on. It's beautiful, and it has a pretty cool story. This is another game that is optimized for controller controls. The precision of the analog stick is necessary in a game like this. The movements feel precise, and it feels really comfortable playing this game in your hands. It's a great game, but I think it's just about perfect on the Steam Deck. As is our fifth honorable mention, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. I've swung the pendulum the other way with this title, but I think that it works pretty perfectly on the Steam Deck. Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes is a strictly couch co-op game. To play it, you'll need to print off the bomb defusal manual, but once you have that, you're ready to play. You work as a team. One person is defusing a bomb, and the other player or players work together to describe how to deactivate parts of the bomb. The diffuser can't see the manual, and the other members can't see the bomb. Communication must be used to both describe the bomb parts and how to disarm it. It's a really fun game with a small group of people. Alcohol may help. Things get hectic, and there might be some yelling, but it's a lot of fun. On a personal note, it's a bit of a fan favorite at our family gatherings. My daughters particularly love it. It's great because you can make the bombs more or less difficult by adding or subtracting modules, changing how much time you have available, and other details. Plus, it's mod friendly, so you can expand the ways that you play this game. And I think the Steam Deck is great for this game. You don't need a laptop, and while VR is fantastic for this game, who's able to pay for VR headsets? Plus, the Steam Deck has gyroscopic motion, meaning that you can view the bomb by moving the console itself, which is a cool option. And the Steam Deck is super portable, so you can take it to your friend's or family's house and bring it out pretty easily once game night gets underway. These 5 games, like I said earlier, haven't been reviewed by me, but I think they could all work as great games for your handheld, depending on what kind of gamer you are. But the next 5 games are the ones I have reviewed, so if you see anything you would like a more thorough review of, be sure to check out the corresponding videos on my channel. Number 5. Final Fantasy VII. So, before I get started talking about Final Fantasy VII, just know that I'm not really a big fan of this game. Check out my full review of it for more details. And I'm discussing the original PC port of this game, not the remake. At the time of this recording, I've just started playing the remake, so I don't have enough information to say if I would recommend it or not. As for the original Final Fantasy VII, this game is playable on the Steam Deck, but there are some issues, such as binding keyboard controls to buttons. But it is still a good game for the Steam Deck for several reasons. Primarily, a lot of people like it. It's already popular, and though it may not make me all giddy inside, just the thought of playing this game appeals to many players, so being able to play on a handheld is attractive, to say the least. Role-playing games in general work well on the Steam Deck. Think about it, there's something about playing a game on a portable system that leads you to more sporadic gameplay. You may put in 20 minutes or 2 hours. It just depends on what you have available to you. If I'm playing on a console on my TV, I'm in the mindset of trying to get in about an hour or so to justify my time. Role-playing games, particularly turn-based systems, allow you to play as casually as you would like. And I love that I could play about 2.5 hours per charge with this game. You don't have to feel tethered to your power cable. And also consider that you could dump a bunch of hours into this game. You can blast through it and put in 30 hours, or you could search every inch of the map and put in over 100 hours if you want. I think if you're a fan of Final Fantasy VII and you want to be able to play it away from your TV or your computer screen, this is a great fit. Plus, it's less than 3 gigs and is super cheap. Ultimately, I think it has all the things that make it perfect for the Steam Deck. Number 4. Persona 4 Golden. Sticking with the RPG theme, I chose Persona 4 Golden. As you may or may not know, the Persona games are long, like super long. On average, you could be looking at around 100 hours per game just for the base game. And I should mention that I chose Persona 4 Golden, but realistically, any Persona game would be great to play on the Steam Deck. If you've watched my review of this game, you'll know that I didn't enjoy it as much as I would have liked, but there's a part of me that still definitely enjoyed it. And if you didn't watch that review, my feelings are laid out pretty well in that video. If you're able and willing to dedicate that much time to a game, such as this one, then it's a great game. The combat is pretty good, There's a ton of story and side content, and it looks pretty cool. So, Persona 4 Golden in particular is one I would recommend for the simple fact that it's the cheapest of the set. It's less than $30 Canadian, and if you pick it up on sale, you're going to get some of the lowest cost per hour in a game. The value is great. You can also pick up Persona 3 Portable for about the same price. Now, Portable was a port of the PlayStation Portable version of the game, and was released some time ago, as opposed to Persona 3 Reload, which recently came out and is considered a remake of it. But if you're okay with spending a bit more, Reload, Persona 5 Royal, and the spin-offs all have a ton of value, given they all have ridiculous time requirements. So, if you enjoy a good turn-based role-playing game, and love the idea of staying with a game for a long time, I think you'll probably love having Persona 4 Golden, or any of the other games available in your hands. Number 3. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2. There are some games that make it easy to play for 5 minutes or 2 hours. You don't have constraints like waiting to find a save point or sitting through an 8-minute cutscene. You can get in, jump into a game, and leave in just a couple minutes. The Pro Skater games allow that super easily. The rounds are 2 minutes long, so you can get in one round and scratch that skating itch before you head off to work or school, or while your wife is almost done getting ready to go. And in this 2-minute period, you can gain some progress too. Just find the 5 skate letters, or maybe find a hidden symbol, or just work on getting a high score. There's lots of objectives to work on, and maybe you'll just watch your dude wipe out repeatedly. This game is really fun, yet very casual. There's no consequence for doing poorly. Just get up and try again. Or you can play competitively, in multiple ways. Challenge your own high scores, play against a friend, play online against others. If you want a different experience, create your own skate park and do some experimentation there. Or maybe you'll be like me and just sit on the title screen and listen to the music. Number 2. Hi-Fi Rush. Simply put, this game is just fun. It's flashy, frenetic, but it never feels like it's too difficult or boring. I mean, to be honest, its biggest fault is that I find it to be shorter than I would have liked. Hi-Fi Rush is a beat-em-up with a really cool art aesthetic to it. The colors may be a bit difficult to deal with initially, but it won't take long for you to adjust to. The combat is great. It's not a button masher. You have to keep your button presses in time with the music to maximize your damage, but you also have to protect yourself with dashes and blocks. I really like that in each fight, the game pits you in a small arena, so you don't have to worry about flying off the edge or getting surprised by an enemy from behind. Doom 3 has traumatized me. And while Hi-Fi Rush is mostly linear, there are plenty of places to veer off the main path to explore for some hidden goodies. Another reason to love this game is that the music is fantastic. It really matches the feel of the game, and I could see listening to it on its own. There are multiple difficulty options, so if the run you just finished was too easy, do it again, but with more challenge next time. And for this video, I've liked games that you can put in a quick gaming session and not have to worry about being anchored in playing half an hour or more before you can walk away. This game does that well too. If you have a few minutes to spare, this game works well, but I've also put in runs around 2 hours long, so I never felt exhausted or just done after an hour. It was easy to keep going, and I love games like that. And being able to play for over an hour and a half on a single charge is really nice too. That flexibility lets you travel, or do something interesting while the family watches a boring movie, or sit on the toilet even longer. The possibilities are nearly endless. Number 1. Hades. In general, roguelikes and roguelites are great for the Steam Deck. It combines replayability with progression. You play, you die, you try again. It's a simple formula, but when done right, you've got a great shtick for gamers. And when you're looking for a great roguelite, you don't have to look much farther than Hades. There's a reason that Steam advertises this game so prominently. If you're looking for a great Steam Deck game, Steam curates a list of games they recommend, and at the top of that list is Hades. Hades is a roguelite, so deaths in this game don't eliminate everything you've earned up until that point. Instead, as you die, you have the potential to slightly upgrade your abilities. Each subsequent run therefore leaves you a bit more powerful, and slowly but surely, you'll be able to work your way to the end. But the end isn't the end. Even when you fight your way out of Hades, you're still challenged with tackling the game even more. Only after winning the game 10 times are you able to achieve the true ending of this game. There's a lot of replayability here, but you aren't locked into playing long playing sessions. A full run where you defeat Hades will go for about an hour, but you could take a break after any room, and clearing a room usually takes less than a minute. The characters are pretty cool too. If you're looking to get a taste of Greek mythology, this is a cool effort. Sure, it's not lore accurate, but it's nice to see how all your favorite Greek gods are portrayed. The design of this world is generally really well done. There are some minor issues with the fixed angle that the camera sits at, but for the most part you're able to identify enemies and their locations, as well as identifying where to place your attacks. As I say this, it may seem like a trivial issue, but I remember having some issues with side-scrolling beat-em-ups where I would just punch the air because I wasn't lined up just right. This game is designed very well, and it plays perfectly on the Steam Deck. It gets my nod for the best game on the Steam Deck so far. So that's a small list of games that really play well on the Steam Deck, in my opinion. But it certainly isn't exhaustive. There are so many games that play well on it that only 5 or even 10 games is merely scratching the surface of what's available. But my opinions are limited. Let me know. Do you agree with me? Do you have any games that you would recommend? Leave a comment. And if you want to chat with me about games, visit my Discord channel. I invite all of you to join me there. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Without you, I'm just a weirdo talking into a microphone. Take care, and have a wonderful day.